I read a lot of books on the subway. That's probably my favorite thing about living in New York is I get to read a lot of books on the subway. And if you ask me, reading is hands down the best way to avoid eye contact with strangers. I think that's why I love it so much. I recently read the hardest book that I've ever read in my entire life. The book is called The Boys from Brazil. Great book. If you haven't read it, it's about this old Jewish man who hunts down Nazis in South America. So exciting book, right? That's a really exciting plot, very thrilling. Like, you ever read a book that's just so exciting to read? Like, it tricks your brain into thinking you're having fun, Read a book not good, even though you're not having fun. You're not having fun at all. You're reading a book. You're like this close to doing math right now. That's not fun at all. So it was a fun book to read, but the reason why The Boys from Brazil is the hardest book I've ever read is because on the cover of The Boys from Brazil, there's a big old swastika. And that's it. That is the whole book cover. Do you have any idea how hard it is to read that book on a public subway? People notice. People notice very quickly. And it's very awkward because I live in a very Jewish neighborhood in New York, known as all of New York. Every morning I would just have that book out and just old Jewish ladies would glare at me from across the train. They'd just be like, ugh, did we get on the wrong train? What, all right, so that was an interesting reaction. See, what happened there was that half of you paid attention in history class, and the other half of you missed out on a brilliant joke just now. And it kind of fanned out from there. A swastika will always ruin your day, won't it? Right? A swastika will always ruin your day. That is like the worst thing you can see out there. I think the swastika is the worst thing you can see. I think the exact opposite of a swastika is the symbol for the artist formerly known as Prince. I think two very different ends of the symbol spectrum there. Because like if you're at a party and a guy walked in with a Prince t-shirt, you'd be like, oh yeah, this guy's got cool taste in music. If a guy walked into a party with a swastika t-shirt, you'd be like, oh, the party is over. Because no one wants to party like it's 1939. Yeah. Can you believe I wrote all this beforehand? I know, right? You guys realize that even Hitler's book didn't have a swastika on the cover? That might be the one considerate thing that guy ever did. Because he had the option. You know what at least came up? Like he had a writer's meeting with his agent. Let's say Hitler had an agent, right? And his agent just came in and was like, oh, mein Führer, your book is ready for the publication. Und I must say, it's a wunderbar book. Mucho wunderbar. Mucho wunderbar. I only know like 3 words in German, so I fill in the gaps in Spanish. Mucho wunderbar, mucho. Que se bonito, mein Führer, mucho. Mucho wunderbar book. But the publishers, they're wondering, what would you like as a cover art? I was thinking maybe we could put a swastika right on the front of the cover, so people know what they're getting into. Maybe write, reader beware, you're in for a scare underneath. I'm not sure. Spitballing ideas, bouncing around here. But Hitler said no. But with a solid black cover instead. Simple, yet elegant. And why? Because Hitler hated awkward situations. I mean, amongst other things, but Hitler hated awkward situations. Not a lot of people know this, but did you know when Hitler was a little kid, he accidentally called one of his teachers mom? Oh, that's the worst, right? You ever do that? Oh, that is embarrassing. That kind of embarrassment will make you drop right out of art school, let me tell you. Awful. Awful. Nobody invited Hitler to any parties after that, so he had to start his own. You get it. Come on. Come on. Get on board. We're going to commit to this one. I don't have an ending to this joke. I just really like doing it. I've been working on it for like a year and a half, and I still don't have a good ending to it. And a lot of people say, Kevin, if you're going to do an 8-minute joke about a book that nobody here has read, you need to end with some sort of a big, satisfying punchline. And to that I say, hey, don't be such a humor Nazi, okay? Don't be such a humor Nazi. Yes, come on, how many bad Hitler jokes can I make at the end of this joke, huh? The answer, of course, is 9. Perfect.